In this video, we're gonna go through two different career paths that you can choose from, and we're gonna go through the full process of landing the job that you actually want. We're gonna start with the job search, all the way into you walking into your first day in your new position. My name's Thomas Breedlove, and over the next 5 years, it's my goal to help over 1 million people get a promotion at work. So if you wanna be one of those people, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button if you want to win at work. Now let's jump into the two different career paths that you can take for your first professional job. The first career track that you can take, and I'd say it's probably the most conventional, this is what most people go down, is to go work at a large corporation. Now there's some great perks to working at a large corporation. First of all, they're gonna give you great training because they've brought in a lot of new hires. So they have standard operating procedures in place to help you succeed quickly at your job. This can also be a great place to build great relationships for a long professional career. Now, while there are some perks, there are some drawbacks by going down this path. The most notable one is that it's gonna be easy for you to be overlooked. There's a lot of people doing really good work. And so if you wanna move up, make sure that you take time to network quite a bit, especially with those who are above you. All this being said, I will say this track is the least risky of the two. The second pathway you can go down when you're starting your career is to go work with a startup. This is my favorite path, and this is actually the direction that I started my career with because I really like the startup culture. First of all, it's really easy to stand out because there's a lot of problems that need to be solved, and if you're a problem solver, you're going to stand out because of your ability to bring value in those areas. Secondly, a startup is a great place to build your resume because there's so many different opportunities across the company that they need help in. So if you're bold enough to try out different areas and learn different skills, a startup is probably the perfect place for you. Now, while I would say the pros outweigh the cons when it comes to working at a brand new company, there are some pretty strong cons. First of all, a lot of times at startups, it's a high stress environment. And this is because the company is literally fighting for survival. And when a company is fighting for survival, that means the owner and the leaders are fighting for their paycheck and fighting for the ability to provide for their family, which means they can be a little bit harsh when working with people. This doesn't mean they're always going to be a jerk, but just know there's going to be some tense situations oftentimes when you're working at a startup. The next con is that they're not going to have a lot of training. And this is because they're a brand new company. They're not going to have a lot of standard operating procedures to help you improve in certain areas. And so it's a lot of thinking on your feet. It's a lot of learning on the job. If you're comfortable in a company like that, you will rise up. But if not, I've seen and I've worked with people who work at a startup for a couple of weeks, and within a month, they're gone. They've either been fired or they've quit because it's a high stress environment. So those are the two paths that you can choose from when you're thinking about starting your career. And really, you have to weigh the pros and cons on which direction you feel is best for you. Now that we've covered that, let's go through the whole process of getting hired at your first professional job. The first thing I'll tell you is this does not have to be a numbers game. A lot of people think I have to put out all of these resumes if I want to be able to get one job. And while that is one strategy, I've seen people put out a lot of resumes and still never get a job. The best thing that you could do is look at your current network of people. If you know people that work at large corporations, it might be right to go with the large corporation route. If you have friends that have started companies or you have friends that are working at startups, that might be the direction for you to go. Put out feelers to people in your network to see if anybody is hiring. Chances are you're going to run across a job that's available that fits your skill set. This is the most ideal way to land a job because usually you have the inside track to the position. Even though it's not a guarantee, they're going to be more likely to hire you because one of your references is somebody at the company already. Once you've got some applications out there, you're going to begin getting some interviews. Now I'm going to give you the one key in an interview that's going to allow you to land the job. Don't overthink it. Now, this doesn't mean don't be prepared. You can still practice some questions and things like that, but this is what I want you to remember. Most companies, assuming you're qualified for the job, or even if you're not qualified for the job, they're hiring based on the gut reaction of the interviewer. This is a good time to go to that old rule. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Your interviewer is not going to remember what you said. They're going to remember how you made them feel. Your goal is to make them confident that you're going to be a good hire for them and be a good employee. opportunity. So in your interview, smile, shake their hand, and it's okay to be nervous. But the fact that they gave you an interview is evidence that you are a good candidate for the job. So come in with confidence. Now, once you've had a few interviews, what you're gonna find is if you're making the interviewer feel known, heard, liked, if you hit it off with them, most likely you're gonna be the one given the job. And when you go into the job, here's a piece of advice. Don't sell yourself short. Look for ways that you can add value and step into that new profession, your first ever professional job, with confidence, knowing that you're going to crush it. I hope that this video helped you. Subscribe to this channel if you want to win at work, and I'll see you in the next one.